So today it's a very wonderful topic, very close to our hearts. We love discussing this because I think that's what we actually truly believe in.
Yes.
And that is about being a great leader.
Absolutely. I feel each one of you, wherever you are, if you've completed 15 years of WorkX, then definitely one day or the other, soon you will reach here of becoming a leader, not a manager, but becoming a leader, getting into a leadership role. So we thought that why not share with you that how to become a successful leader. And that's what it is. So leadership plays a very pivotal role in organizations. That's something you need to understand. It's a very important role that one plays. It holds the power to influence and shape the direction of the company altogether. So all the C-class people, all the general managers, everybody who are there, they play a very, very critical role here. They are the one who influence the company. They are the one who give direction to the company. So where the company is going to go, where it's going to reach, it completely depends on this leader. That's why the impact of good leader reverberates through the entire workforce. Okay, that's what it spread, creating an environment where people can thrive, grow, and contribute to the organization of the to the success of the organization. That's what is a so important role of a leader.
So, however, it's really important to understand that essence of leadership is just not confined to the workplace, right?
Yes.
Leadership is not restricted to formal titles or job description. In fact, every individual has the potential to become a leader in their own space.
Yes.
Be it within the family, among friends, or in their professional teams.
True.
This means that principles and qualities of leadership are applicable in various aspects of your personal and professional life. So if I remember back then when I finished my MBA, I took up a job. I started working. It was initial days of my life, but I somehow felt that I need to step up my role and start taking care of the family. So I think that's the point of time where I took that shift from being a person who was receiving guidance, who was taking help, to reaching out a place where I started taking charge, ownership, delivering results, taking care of people. So I think leadership is not about a position, authority. Leadership is about actually nurturing people, taking care of them, taking care of people who are, I mean, you're in charge of those people, right? So it can as good as start being a good daughter or a good son in the family, taking care of your parents, taking care of your siblings, you become a leader by default. There are some people who are great as friends, and we all would have experienced this in our so many years of life, that these are people whom you can really depend on. And in crisis, they are the one who show up. They deliver so beautifully. They are calm, they are composed, they can manage everything well, and you tend to depend on them. So that's the quality as a leader in friends. Would you like to share some examples?
So, for example, when I'm concerned, 98, I became a leader, and that's been 25 years back. And I had to, take care of quite a few number of people, maybe 10, 20, and then it increased. So, for me, it started. So, leadership is just not about dictating orders from a position of authority. That's not what leadership is all about. That's a place of authority. That's a place of position. And that's not being respected. But rather, leadership is about understanding the core traits and behavior that makes a leader exception. And that's exactly what we are going to do. We're going to help you that what it really needs to become an effective or a great leader. So starting with, let's start with the first point, or rather you can take it.
Yes. So I think the very first thing, the minute you think of being a leader, you feel that you're going to go out there, you're going to talk, share, give ideas, take charge, and that's how it will be proven as a leader. But I feel it's the other way around. The most important thing for a leader is to be a great listener, because only by listening to people, you can connect with them on a deeper level. And if there is no connection with the people that you want to lead, you will never be able to take charge of them. You will never be able to lead them into the role or the growth or the vision that you have. So the first important quality, I feel, listening, is the most vital aspect of leadership, because it fosters trust and understanding. I believe that when people feel heard, they are more likely to connect with and follow a leader. So effective listening is the first thing.
Second thing, I feel a leader, what is the most key part between a follower and a leader is followers are people who want to depend on the leaders and they just want to do their bit and part of the job and do it. But leaders are people who take complete ownership of their team success and failure. So whenever they have performed, they have delivered. A classic example is Dhoni. So whenever the team India used to win, he used to say, "Boys did a great job today." And whenever they used to lose, he used to take the ownership. Probably I lacked something, or maybe I didn't give the right direction. Probably I would have done something like this. Now that's a sign of a great leader, where the credit is given to the team when they win. But whenever they fail, they take complete responsibility, ownership that I'm responsible for the steps that I should have taken a little differently. This fosters a huge sense of accountability and collaboration with the team. And when you do that, people with you, below you, love you. And now they want to ensure that you don't fail at any cost because they feel that my boss is giving me all the credit for what he and me are doing, but he's completely taking ownership when it is failing. I will not allow this guy to fail because he's a great leader.
So, I remember, I think in the second year after I completed my MBA, I got this job. I've also mentioned earlier that I couldn't crack a job in my first MBA interview, but the first year, the first job that I got, where I traveled away from my city and really worked hard on myself. When I returned back with a manager's role, I was here to build a team of consultants who didn't exist because the branch office opened there. And when I hired these consultants, so they were naturally not direct reportees to me. They were freelancers who were going to work for the company to get fixed deposits. Since I was in the field of finance, selling financial instruments, so they were to go and get fixed deposits. Now it's a very huge commitment which is required for a financial consultant to go and sell some new company's product, right? It's not easy for them. They can only do that when they just not only deliver or believe in the company's name, but they believe in the person who's sitting there in the branch taking responsibility. So I know that when I started the role, it was very difficult for me to really figure out how do I make it happen. But like it's told, many a times you may not be a great swimmer, but if you're thrown in the water, you learn to survive, right? So that's where the second learning happened for me as a leader, where I appointed around 100 plus consultants under me, and they were all ranging from the age of 25 to the I think the greatest that person was retired. After retirement he had started this business, so he probably would be around 64 65. And that's where I use this quality of listening. I used to go there and listen, and then after he's shared his experience, I would go there and share a few things about my product, about my company, and how it will really benefit him. And I remember reaching a stage when he asked me to lead his daughter, take care of her and show her a career path. So I feel that when these teams delivered, it was all the credit. We used to really celebrate together. But when anyone couldn't, I would reach out there, help them make the calls, do things so that they would grow. And that joy that I would have when I would look at those commission statements that would come every month, it was to be such a wonderful thing for me to believe that, yes, I could add some value to these people's life. So I feel taking ownership of a team, not only people who are directly reporting to you, but taking ownership of people's life, where you are creating your presence or they fall under your so-called network. I think that's a very, very important quality of a leader, taking complete ownership and responsibility of all the failure and working towards the success and giving the credit to your team.
So the third thing that a leader primary role, this I've been doing for 25 years now, where I am doing this, which is what a leader needs to do, is to influence and guide people. That's a huge responsibility that you have to influence people in the right direction and guide them to able to walk on that path and achieve what they want to achieve. And that's where, so this involves striking a balance between what's right for the individual on the team and what is right for the organization as a whole. Both of this balance a leader needs to do. He needs to ensure that he's influencing people to able to achieve the organization goals, able to do what the organization wants, at the same time to protect his personal requirement and his personal goals also. That's where a balance a leader needs to strike. Although this might seem like a challenging task, of course it is, but that's where leaders come. It is the leader's wisdom, because that's one more thing a leader needs to have, the wisdom to able to navigate this delicate balance where the organization goal is also being achieved and the person who is working under you, his goals are also being achieved, and you are influencing both the sides of people and guiding them to make them happy. So that's something I know I've been doing it for more than almost 98 onwards, 25 years. Until now, because of this one quality that I have developed, I'm able to do that.
Then, of course, one very important quality of a leader is vision, right? We tell people great leaders are great visionaries, and that is where they create a mark in the world. So, who are these people? These are people who operate with a purpose of life. They go beyond their personal gain. They possess the ability to anticipate challenges. They understand their team's need, and then they work towards a future that benefits everyone who's involved. So if you look at great industrialists, most of them, when they started their new factories in an unknown place, it was just not about producing or manufacturing their products, but they actually stood out and raised the community as such of the people who are working for them. If you pick up any of these brands, probably Tata, you look at them, you look at their stories, they reached in a small little town, picked up people there. It was not only about it was still the core, the downline person, how his family can be raised, how sanitation can be improved, how they can be given a better quality of life, how probably medical help can reach out to them and their family members. So I think vision only comes when a purpose is the most important aspect taken care. It's not about my life. It's not only about my team also, but it's in a much greater domain, and that's serving your community or the society which you belong to. Only these people can have a vision. If you're not looking at the challenges that people below you till the core, I mean the last, what do you call, the front line of the organization, right? For a manufacturing, it is the online jobs which are done by those people. If you cannot reach till there, if you cannot take care of their families, that means you're not a visionary. So visionary person is a person who can perceive not only his team members' requirement, but also can foresee on how his company, his project can build this society in a much different way, where education can become a great thing, people can live a better quality of life. So visionary is a great leader, and a great leader is a great visionary.
Another attribute or a trait of a great leader is that if you are not a great follower, you cannot be a great leader. So it's very, very crucial. Like I've been following my mentor for 29 years now. And I feel till my last day of life, I'll keep following, because only can you follow, you can lead, because you have to follow someone who is going to teach you how to become a great leader, how to take care of you. Someone who has been there where you are today much in advance. So my leader has been there for last, he's 20 years more senior to me.
Yes.
And in that 20 years, wherever I have been there, he's been there 20 years prior to me. And that's why 29 years. So this means, being humble enough to learn from others. Because what happens once you reach a position, there's one line that comes in your brain, in your mind, and that is in a form of a little arrogance that I know everything. And the moment you feel I know everything, that's where you stop growing, you stop following, and that's where you fail as a leader. So you need to be open to learn from others, to new ideas and perspective, because you don't know, even a junior most guy can give you a different perspective, and even the seniors who are sitting out there, because they have experience, they can give you a different perspective. But I cannot take someone's perspective till I'm open to new ideas. By being both a good leader and a follower, an individual can build a strong team and organizations.
Then, of course, one very important quality is leaders are deeply invested in their teams. They take time to understand each member's strength and skills, which allows them to allocate responsibilities more effectively. This not only empowers the team, but also enhances the overall performance. So I think as a leader, that's a very crucial thing, that when you're taking up a new leadership role, if you are in the space that you know you're going to step up as a leader, One very crucial thing you can do in that first 90 days is really connecting to your team members and understanding their strengths, so that you can ask them to play on their strengths. And when people play on their strengths, by default, the result is truly amazing. But if you've not taken that time out, you've not understood what they are good at, you've not understood what they are going through in their personal life, you'll never be able to get the maximum out of your team.
Next, leader must also, most important, be aware of what's on the horizon, which means, like, one of the reason why it's 20 years we are in business, not even once we failed. The reason being is we are extremely good in anticipating the future challenges. So well in advance, we are able to anticipate and prepare us for the winter. So leaders are people who can see the winter coming well in advance, so that it can prepare, and at the same time the opportunities that are coming. So whenever whatever business we've got into, we knew that, like life coaching, we started 10 years back, knowing very well, like that time it was nowhere a business which anybody would have thought about. There's very few people, nobody wanted to, but we knew that one day India, this is going to be one of the most happening thing, which has already started now. We know that today it's such a big thing, but we are already 10 years in advance there. So we also see opportunity. That's what leaders do, ensuring that their team is well prepared to tackle with lot lies ahead. The problem also and the opportunity both cannot be missed. That's what leaders anticipate.
Then, of course, in times of adversities, one very important quality in a leader is to be able to digest what is the situation. So I remember talking to one of my clients, I think 3 days back, and she was really worried about what's happening and why my leader is not sharing what is going on the last 3 months. I just have no clear cut direction. And I kept telling her, you never know what's coming up. She may be aware, but she's waiting for the right moment to be able to share that bit of information which is relevant for you. So a leader really needs to know each team member. And then when that complexity comes in, he should have the capacity to digest it and only pass on how much can be digested with their team. With, of course, some solution. Not necessarily provide a solution as a leader. That's not required, because your team members also have a lot of ideas, perspective. They have been working there. They have that experience, expertise. You may not be a person who's providing the solution, but if you can effectively relay the problem in a more solvable manner, reach out to your team, assess the information, distribute it wisely, then you can definitely navigate your team through difficult times and grow it even more stronger. So ability to really digest bigger complex issues and put it in a subtle way that the team can deal with it, that's a great quality of a leader.
The last one of the quality, there are many, but this is very crucial, is a leader is a person who has immense energy, positivity, and passion. A leader cannot be a dull guy. These are really, really important. They play such a crucial role in building a better future for their team and the organization they serve. That's why energy, positivity, and passion.
In fact, I feel that as entrepreneurs, in our earlier role, when we would go and speak to our HNI clients, and today as coaches, we are only able to open up that discussion, continue the conversation, get into personal details of people's life. It's only because of the energy, the positivity, and the passion that we carry, which was relevant even when we were doing a portfolio business, and is relevant even today. That people, they come up and say, I don't know how, but I could share this which I've not shared with anyone else. So these are really very important qualities. Please don't underestimate them. Yes.
To become a leader, you don't need to wait for a formal title. Now, this is very important. जब मुझे वो position देंगे, तब मैं जाके काम करूँ. No, you can begin your journey by taking ownership of your personal and professional life. This involves reframing your mindset to stop making excuses, because leaders produce results. They don't give reasons. And to get things done on their own, instead of blaming external factors or circumstances, you should ask yourself, in spite of what's happening around me, how can I complete this stuff? This shift in attitude, I think, is one of the biggest reasons why people fail as leaders, or people don't reach there rather, is because they don't want to do this first step. Okay, the first step is that attitude that are interested, and winning the trust of your team is very important. Fundamental requirement for effective leadership.
So the next part, of course, like I said, which we started with as a great quality of a leader, is listening. So listening can be a skill that can be cultivated right now. It's as early as right now. You don't have to wait tomorrow. You know why? Because it is something that can help you become a great person, a reliable, a trustworthy person in your family, in your friend circle, in the society in general, and of course in your professional environment. So don't defer it to a later time. Become a great leader. You genuinely should be interested in understanding other people's perspective and views. I love when I go and meet a group of people. I'm not the one to speak, but I just keep talking to them, asking them about their life, about their situation, or a perspective to a particular event that we are going through. And it is such a wonderful way to open up. I mean, all those, what is this called? Those ideas called breaking the ice. Breaking the ice, the best way if you met a stranger is by listening to them, because everyone is interested in talking. But as a leader, you should be able to understand other people's perspective and views and respect that. This skill can take you a long way in building strong connections and relationships. Now, there is a reason why we are given 2 ears and one mouth. Why 2 ears are placed above and the mouth placed below. God has designed us like that, that we are supposed to listen at least twice of what we speak, if nothing more than that.
So now we said influence. Now, what is required to influence people is first, you're able to influence yourself. And you can only influence yourself when you're two things: self discipline and consistency. Even when nobody is watching, nobody is watching us. We are the owners of a company. Nobody. But every single day that we get up at 4:45 and we sleep, go to sleep like 11:45, all the rituals we follow without missing a single day. Okay, you should be proactive and take initiative. You should be waiting for challenges to come your way. Never run away. Most of the time, we want a smooth journey which not exists. Life is full of challenges. So leaders are one who want to take and you want to push others, so that you can ensure that you're inspiring people and you're making them go ahead and achieve. Instead, you need to take the lead in making changes in. Don't tell others to do that job. You first work on yourself. You become that kind of person that people will look up to. And then only will people will want to do what you're saying. So first do, then speak. Adapting beneficial habits and ritual and taking action. So lead by your own example, in short.
Then, of course, we spoke about being a great follower, right? So I believe that finding a role model. There are many times we say that, wow, this person is so amazing. Wow, that guy is really good in public speaking. That person is really good in empathizing. And there are so many things we should look around and we admire them for that. But you should just not stop at admiring them. You should not even just go out and talk to people about them. But I feel it's very, very important to follow them to become like them. So finding a role model and then following their example is a valuable strategy for leadership development. So identify the individuals you admire and then take the initiative to observe and learn from them.
The next is
by doing so, you can become someone that other people admire as well. So if you want to become someone that others admire, then you also should take that step of learning from them and implementing that.
Next, you need to be absolutely informed of what's happening in the industry, what's the trend, and the broader world is essential, because you can't live a limited role. You need to know. In today's information saturated world, it's challenging to find reliable sources of useful information. However, it's crucial to make it a lifelong pursuit to identify trustworthy sources and keep yourself updated. This ensures that you can share pertinent and timely information with the right people at the right time.
Then, of course, one very crucial aspect that we always overlook, and that's health. Health in terms of your physical, mental, and emotional I feel the biggest challenge that leaders go through once they cross their 40s or 45 is they cannot take care of their emotional health. They don't take care of their physical health. They lack in energy. They lack in their emotional fitness. And that is where they start losing as a leader. Leadership role demands immense emotional fitness. It needs high energy level. So if you have to excel in this arena, it is very, very important to establish a health regime and prioritize your well-being. Believe me, you cannot be a great leader if you're not emotionally fit, if you're not physically fit, if you're not in that space that you have energy throughout from the moment you get up in the morning till the moment you go to sleep, because you need to be in that state to be able to listen and take all what comes your way as a leader.
Take on leadership roles in volunteer activities or community organizations. That's what I did from 1998. 94, I joined an NGO, and there onwards, 98 onwards, I volunteered myself to take leadership role, to take activities, to build my community. These experiences has provided me valuable leadership opportunity and helped me in real life, because that's what I could do there. I could learn. So all what I learned there, I'm able to apply in my personal life, in my professional life. So that's why there are various places out there where you become a leader.
So don't wait till the opportunity walks in your way. I think it's beautifully the best way to do is start the leadership journey right now. And of course, both of us are always there to help you whenever you face challenges as a leader, because they are the people who change the organization, the future of the organization. They are the people who change the society, and they are the people who change the world. So become a great, effective leader, because that's how you'll be able to contribute to this beautiful world. Have a wonderful weekend.
And see you again on next Friday on